of liberty, in the fires of hope and prayer, with boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare. Side by side we stand, islands of the blue Caribbean Sea, this our native land. We pledge our lives to thee. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation.
Heavenly Father, we come before you at the start of this new day, giving thanks for life, for health, and the opportunity to serve through this station. We ask for your divine presence to guide us in all we do. Bless this broadcast, that it may be a source of inspiration, joy, and unity to all who tune in. Whether near or far, may our words uplift, our music heal, and our message bring light to those who need it most. We pray for our listeners wherever they may be. Grant them strength for the day ahead, peace in their hearts, and success in all they put their hands to. Cover those traveling with your protection, and those at home with your comfort and provision. Lord, may everything we do bring honor to you and be a blessing to others. Guide our steps, bless our efforts, and let this station be a vessel of positivity and hope. In your name we pray. Amen.
Your voice, your soundtrack, your station. New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio.
Working to build house and family. You approaching or you're done with 60. Now it's time to be happy. Spend your money once you're hungry. To study acting but price. Just leave us something to get buried. Time for pensioners to live nice. If you're feeling for pork chop for Christmas, eat what you want to eat. Now it's brandy and whiskey you're drinking, and every parent fest start to beat. Bend your money, bend your back. To make arthritis keep your back when you're dancing. In them parang fest when you're dancing, and you start to sweat, pop your champagne. Now you're here. Now it's time to cock up your rear when you're dancing. In them parang fest when you're dancing, and you start to sweat. Spend your pension on an IS. Buy clothes and look the best. Pay your bills and get for thanks. Don't leave no set of money in the bank. Not because you retire, that don't mean you expire. Not because you retire, that don't mean you expire. When it's parang in Paramin, start to dress and pick up your cane. If you them from come to the country. No more clocking karage. Don't make them stick you with grandchildren. Now it's time to be happy. Once you're taking any grant from them, make sure it's currency. As you reach the month of October, you circle in the date. Take your phone, call up a partner, lock the door, open the gate. Bend your money, bend your back. Don't make her try to skip your back when you're dancing. In them parang fete and you're dancing. When you start to sweat, pop your champagne. Now you're here. Now it's time to pop up your red when you're dancing. In them parang fete and you're dancing. When you start to sweat, spend your pension and an yes. Buy clothes and look the best. Pay your bills and get more thanks. Don't leave no set of money in the bank. Not because you retire. That don't mean you expire. Not because you retire. That don't mean you expire. Violent country. Violent country. Play music back. Play mandolin. You're only talking about your pension, asking you for the PIN card. They want to carry you to the doctor, but your house they want it bad. When they ask you who get property, who should pay best, you want them know. And when they home sit down and plotting, you indifferent and you whining low. Tell them you need a driver to take back you and your wife. And it's the whole night you're drinking. You ain't taking no chance with your life. Bend your money, bend your back. Don't make her try to skip your back when you're dancing. In the parang fete and you're dancing. And you start to step up your champagne. Now you're here. Now it's time to pop up your red when you're dancing. In the parang fete and you're dancing. When you start to sweat, spend your pension and an yes. Buy clothes and look the best. Pay your bills and get more thanks. Don't leave no set of money in the bank. Not because you retire. That don't mean you expire. Not because you retire. That don't mean you expire. What you both try this tonight?
Wake up, rise up. It's the NETT Radio Breakfast Show. Bringing you the energy, music and vibes to start your day right.
Each and every morning, of course, we're here to make sure we do exactly that. Start your day A-OK. So good morning to you, Trinidad. Good morning to Tobago, neighbors in the Caribbean. How are you doing? Friends and family streaming all around the globe. Good day to you. Don't worry, we'll tell you about that later on. Good to be here with you on New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio. The heartbeat of the Caribbean, taking you above and beyond. Beautiful Tuesday morning it is. Giving God thanks and praises for life. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for bringing us together for another day. And all that we do, dear God, let it be a blessing on to you. I'm Sir Charles. Good morning, man. Checking in, and of course, here with you. Inside of one of the best spaces you can find yourself. Everybody, welcome to the Breakfast Show.
Get up, it's the time to start the day. The Breakfast Show is here, we bring in the soca way. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The Breakfast Show got the vibes turned on. From Morocco's Bay to the Savannah. Let's start the day in Caribbean prime. Oh, good vibes rolling through the air. The Breakfast Show, energy everywhere. We talk, we laugh, we make you think. Grab your doubles or your morning drink.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome. Good to have you all here on the NETT Radio for another beautiful God bless day. This is the Breakfast Show. Let me say good morning to my co-host Richard, who will join us inside of this hour, and of course Wendell, who is here as always very early. So Stevens, good morning.
Morning, Davis. Good morning, Charles. Good morning, Richard. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. And good morning, listeners and viewers all over the globe. It's another rainy morning. Well, certainly in the east. I don't know what's going on elsewhere. Oh, I have a sneeze coming.
You can feel it.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Yeah, but it's we here. We're happy to be in the land of the living. Let me see where do I get my birthdays from. Today is July
14th.
All right. Gesundheit. Today is July 14th. And let me see if I have some birthdays here for you. I think I do. Let me see. These notifications take a little while sometimes to come up. Right. Ooh, I had 10 birthdays yesterday. Wendy Lois, happy birthday, Wendy. Joanne Chaitan Forsyth. Wendy Gibbs. She used to be a counselor down in San Fernando. Why do I have her so many times? Shilana Suklal Singh. Hey, why do I have Wendy Gibbs so many times? I have about 4 or 5 times. All right, so those are my birthdays. That happens every now and then. Yesterday, I have a cousin who lives abroad. I have about 8 times on my as a friend. I don't know how, with 8 different pictures. Natasha Stephen is her name.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened. You know, it's like people just creating profiles and then sending you, and then you realize, wait, why do I have you so many times? I don't know if that happens to other people too. Where you have one person multiple times on your timeline.
Yeah, sometimes I've noticed that at points in time. I just don't pay it no way.
Yeah, that it happens to me every now and then because I don't send friend requests, but I generally accept friend requests. Especially if you have a picture, because there are some friend requests that come without pictures. I ignore them. Yeah. You know, unless I know you personally, I ignore them. You know, and then there are some friend requests coming where people have their profiles blocked. What's the point?
Yeah.
I don't even understand that. If you're on social media, I mean, you're free to delete or accept anything that people send for you. And that's what I do. Sometimes I do like something that I just simply delete it, or I delete the person. You know, but always hiding on social media. Social media ain't for that. Social media is to just enjoy, not to harass people, right?
That is it. If you harass people, you're going to get blocked and stuff.
You're going in naughty box.
Yeah.
In naughty corner.
You know, mind your business, but don't go into people's personal business. But yeah.
But I commented on someone. I commented, you know, the newspapers will put up articles every now and then, either CCN or CNCG. So I generally comment sometimes on it. And somebody take off in my tail the other day. I don't even know the guy, but I'm assuming it's a guy. What? You're encouraging corruption and all your PNM. And I said, brother man, you don't really want to start me, you know, because I could be provocative. It's clear you are abusive. So I end up, afterwards, he tell me, hold me something. I say, you clearly are the abusive personality. But like other people take a turn in it. So he deleted everything. I don't even know who it is. You know what I mean? But people feel the freedom now to tell you what they want on social media. Pass you, call you this, call you that. All manner of things. They have they feel the freedom to do that now on social media. You know? They don't understand people have been taken to court and lost battles for that, eh?
A lot.
Yeah. So he deleted everything after. Thankfully. Because I don't know, it's crazy. You know? But anyway, we're here again with you all this morning. I think do we have a guest today, Sir Charles?
Yes, we do. Right. Yes, we do. We're talking Robert Young of the Cloth.
All right. I know Richard. I don't know Robert.
What am I saying? Robert or Richard? That's not.
But you said Robert, but it is Robert and Richard. It's two brothers.
Oh, it's two of them. Okay.
Yeah, it's two of them. But I know Richard. I know we've interviewed Richard prior. You know? But it's two brothers. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
anyway,
celebrating their, I think, 40th anniversary of the business. So, wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, well, I mean, we could get into some of the other news because guess what? Death threats are flying left, right, and center now. So do your good news, and we'll greet the people in the chat, and then we could get into that other story that started to make the rounds yesterday.
Okay, so I have a story for you inside of the good news. So let's listen well.
There's a story many years ago of an elementary school teacher. Her name was Mrs. Thompson. As she stood in front of her 5th grade class on the very first day of school, she told the children a lie. Like most teachers, she looked at her students and said that she loved them all the same. But that was impossible because there in the front row, slumped in his seat, was a little boy named Teddy Stoddard. Mrs. Thompson had watched Teddy the year before and noticed that he didn't play well with the other children, that his clothes were messy, and that he constantly needed a bath. Teddy could be unpleasant. It got to the point where Mrs. Thompson would actually take delight in marking his papers with a broad red pen and making bold X's and then putting a big F at the top of his papers. At the school where Mrs. Thompson taught, she was required to review each child's past records, and she put Teddy's off until last. However, when she reviewed his file, she was in for a surprise. Teddy's 1st grade teacher wrote, "Teddy is a bright child with a ready laugh. He does his work neatly and he has good manners. He's a joy to be around." His 2nd grade teacher wrote, "Teddy's an excellent student, well liked by his classmates. But he's troubled because his mother has a terminal illness and life at home must be a struggle." His 3rd grade teacher wrote, "His mother's death has been hard on him. He tries to do his best, but his father doesn't show much interest, and his home life will soon affect him if steps aren't taken." Teddy's 4th grade teacher wrote, "Teddy's withdrawn and doesn't show up much interest in school. He doesn't have many friends, and sometimes he even sleeps in class." By now, Mrs. Thompson realized the problem, and she was ashamed of herself. She felt even worse when her students brought her Christmas presents wrapped in beautiful ribbons and bright paper, except for Teddy's. His present was clumsily wrapped in heavy brown paper that he got from the grocery bag. Mrs. Thompson took pains to open it in the middle of the other presents. Some of the children started to laugh when she found a rhinestone bracelet with some of the stones missing and a bottle that was 1/4 full of perfume. But she stifled her children's laughter when she exclaimed how pretty the bracelet was, putting it on and dabbing some of the perfume on her wrist. Teddy Stoddard stayed after school that day just long enough to say, "Mrs. Thompson, today you smell just like my mom used to." After the children left, she cried for at least an hour. On the very day, she quit teaching reading, writing, and arithmetic, and instead, she began to teach children. Mrs. Thompson paid particular attention to Teddy. As she worked with him and his mind seemed to come alive, the more she encouraged him, the faster he responded. By the end of the year, Teddy had become one of the smartest children in the class, and despite her lie, became one of her teacher's pets. A year later, she found a note under the door from Teddy, telling her that she was still the best teacher he ever had in his whole life. 6 years went by before she got another note from Teddy. He then wrote that he had finished high school 3rd in his class, and she was still the best teacher he ever had in his whole life. 4 years after that, she got another letter saying that while things had been tough at times, he stayed in school and stuck with it, and would soon graduate from college with the highest of honors. He assured Mrs. Thompson that she was still the very best and favorite teacher he ever had in his whole life. Then 4 more years passed, and yet another letter came. This time he explained that after he got his bachelor's degree, he decided to go a little further. The letter explained that she was still the best and favorite teacher he ever had, but now his name was a little longer. The letter was signed Theodore F. Stoddard, M.D. But the story doesn't end there. You see, there was yet another letter that spring. Teddy said he'd met this girl and was going to be married. He explained that his father had died a couple of years ago, and he was wondering if Mrs. Thompson might agree to sit in the place at the wedding that was usually reserved for the mother of the groom. Of course, Mrs. Thompson did, and guess what? She wore that bracelet, the one with the several rhinestones missing. And she made sure she was wearing the perfume that Teddy remembered his mother wearing on their last Christmas together. They hugged each other, and Dr. Stoddard whispered in Mrs. Thompson's ear, "Thank you so much for making me feel important and showing me that I could make a difference." Mrs. Thompson came with tears in her eyes and whispered back, "Teddy, you have it all wrong. You were the one who taught me that I could make a difference. I didn't know how to teach until I met you."
Okay.
Life lessons.
Yeah.
It was kind of long, people. Sorry about that. I edited edited down to about 3 minutes, and for some reason when I load back up the wrong one. But it happens like that. Maybe I was supposed to play that one.
All right. Yeah, the volume also sounded a little low.
It was and that is what made me realize that, because in the one that I edited, the shorter version, I had raised the volume and everything in it, I don't know, sometimes, in the hustle of things, it happens like that.
All right. So we could go straight into greeting the folks in the chat. Odell Guy came in at 12:01. Suzanne Jessup saying, I hear they want to cancel Independence Day. Well, neither here nor there with me now, no? Of course, she's chatting a lot, and then she says, good morning. It's from Suzanne, Suzette, Mrs. Gemma. She forget Maria H. and Maria S. Yeah, somebody else. So she was so in her feelings this morning. She was chatting a lot. Valerie Mendoza, good morning to the breakfast team. Eunice Dublin, Pamela O'Connor, Robert Allen, Margaret Thomas, Marcia Rock, Manuela Peters, Deborah Noel Surrett. I would like to wish my best friend, Annette Smith, a happy 66th birthday today. All right, so happy birthday, Annette. And it's coming from Deborah and, of course, from us on the breakfast show. Robert Taylor, Apollonius, Ian Stewart, Kenny and Harlem, Ava Smith also says happy Tuesday. Marlon Motley, good morning. Michael Eastman, Cheryl Johnson from having a wonderful day from Malabar in Arima. Empress Reyes Lal, Arlene Lewis, Maria Cellier, also sending greetings to Miss Jackman and Miss Gemma and Suzanne and Suzette Jessup. Diane Payne, Boy Bidesi from David, Joyce Philip, Carol Guevara from Chaguanas, Sherwin and Juliet Kerr from Arima, Debbie Modeste, Kurt Hope in Nashville, Tennessee, Felix Kazo, Carol is singing, Trinidad, Margot, CJ from New York, bright and early this morning. And what is she doing there? That's a microphone. Okay, so she's dancing and singing. Victor Phillips says good morning to everyone on the chat. Gavin Frank from Powder Magazine, Ingrid from Tucson, Arizona, Wayne Ramsey from Fort Lauderdale, Carla Hercules, Hillbench. I'm going to try to get onto you today, Hillary. I had a rough day yesterday in town. Ron DeSantis Jr., where you get that cool Yule briner shine? I was actually sitting underneath a light, Ron. I took it off. Is it still shining? Nadia Stephen, Apollonius, yes, Wendell, people just making false profiles. It happens to me. I don't even, a lot of people, even on this chat here, don't use the correct name. We have no problem with that. But you see, when you're getting abusive and insultive and hateful and divisive, I draw the line with that. You could call yourself whatever you want to. It don't matter to me. You understand? But you try to be decent at least. If you have nothing good to say, say nothing. That's my philosophy. Shoma Paul, good morning, guys. Lots of rain in Central. Robert Harper out there in St. Anne's or Cascade? Which one it is, Robert? St. Anne's. Josie Richardson, Merle McComey, Ron, how come that minister getting death threats and not the other two, the two others who blab much more? Well, they must be getting too, but death threats are part of public life, I don't know if people know that, right? Especially when you're an outspoken person. in public life, or you hold certain positions. You may not actually be outspoken, but you hold certain positions. And it happens. Gary Griffith, when he was commissioner, get plenty death threats. I would imagine other commissioners got. But Gary was jumping up on top of a counter the other day celebrating England. England had one shot to get a Gary. You go cry. I go see you in a video cry. It's what come done. Anyway, best of luck, my brother. Best of luck. Dwayne Sylvester is crying. I don't know why. CJ, that video brought tears to my eyes. Okay. Mrs. R, very long. She both in your Charles?
Yeah, I suppose.
I never seen her.
Uh-huh.
And then she says, good morning. Good morning, Mrs. R. John Cato, good morning to the NETT hosts and viewers. Chris Tusse, morning. Carl M. Jack, safe. Robert Harper, the current administration is seeking to create political apathy. How is this benefiting them, this thing? I do not sure. And you are in St. Anne's. Melchizedek, good morning. And Claire Lendor Rawlins, those are all our greetings this morning. Well, no, we have one more, very important. Richard Raghubasin, good morning, sir.
Good morning, guys, and good morning to our listeners and viewers, wherever you are, in whatever time zone. And thank you for joining us on the Breakfast Show this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Morning, Richard. Let me say good morning to Frank out there in Aruca. Came in very early this morning. First, actually. Brenda in Penal came in next. Then we had Zena saying good morning to the Powder Puff ladies. When we are Kent in Laventel. Debbie Modest, good day to you, Debbie. Mr. Augustine, good morning. Charmaine out there in New York. Archbishop Ashton Clark in Canada. Rena Boodoo Jennings, good day to you. Catherine, thank you very much for the link. And also to Mr. Billy, the Powder Magazine people. All right. Well, Richard, anything else you want to add, or I should go to the break and come back?
No, you can go to the break and come back.
Okay, no problem.
Are you a business owner? Well, take advantage of NETT Radio and Gael Caribbean TV Christmas in July advertising special. Throughout the month of July, enjoy 33% off all advertising packages. Whether you are micro, small, medium, or large business, now is the perfect time to put your product and service in front of the people who matter. Reach your audience through radio, television, and social media, all at 33% off. Don't miss this limited Christmas in July offer. Call us today at 281-1315 or 299-5156 and let NETT Radio and Gael Caribbean TV help you grow your business. But hurry, this special offer ends July 31st. It's Christmas in July on NETT Radio and Gael Caribbean TV.
Calling all you NETT Radio listeners and fans. It's time to pack your cooler, gather your crews. Join us for NETT Radio Halloween Cooler Crew in red, white, and black. On board the luxurious Island Royalty, Saturday, 15th of August, boarding at 7 p.m. from Hardcuts Shagaramas. We sail at 8 p.m. sharp. Enjoy great music all night long from your favorite NETT DJs: Sir Charles, CJ, Mr. Flavor, Doc International, RJ, and Fluffman.
Tell you you's a big dancer. Come show
Early bird tickets are just $200 after $250. Get your tickets now at Crosby in St. James, Rumba, St. James, Bobby's Bar in Kure, Bats International in Arima, K Square Fashions at C3 Center, West Mall and Eastgate Small, and all NETT DJs. No glass bottles allowed. Bring your coolers, bring your crews, and let's celebrate together. NETT Radio, Halloween Cooler Crew, Saturday, August the 15th, aboard the Island Royalty. For information, call 638-2609 or 497-7173. Call we on the scene.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James,
for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rum Box. Drinking out of the box.
What do we all want for Trinidad and Tobago? Safer communities, greater opportunities, and a better future. Join Denise Deming every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on NETT Radio for Common Ground TNT. Each week, respected guests tackle the issues affecting our nation, from crime and education to healthcare, the economy, and good governance. Common Ground TNT, finding solutions through conversation. Tuesdays at 11 a.m. on NETT Radio, Net Radio.
End Times is here. Are you prepared? Check us on New Era TT Radio or Net Radio with Brother Raka and Brother Yatazakawa on Mondays from 7 to 8 p.m. End Times is here. Stay tuned.
Okay, just to let you guys know, your listeners know that coming up at 11 o'clock, we have Common Ground with Denise Deming, and today her conversation will be with Dr. Bo Tiwari. So, yeah, your next engagement on the stream for all you social media people will be at 11 o'clock with Denise Deming. Yeah.
Not Boenjarata, Boenjadat.
No, John said like this morning.
He's not a rat, he's a dat. Okay.
That.
Okay. I just want to read this. Robert Harper is saying, I hear so many people are so overwhelmed with the constant chaos and seemingly lack of caring that they no longer care that what the government does. As a result, resistance or complaints lessen. I suspect that's true, Robert. I suspect that is true because it's certainly happening to me. I telling you, I fed up. You know what I mean? But I have to tell you, if these threats, seemingly death threats, that's coming all over now, from all over, and to every man or person, are contrived. In other words, they are orchestrated. Then it's only a matter of time before they orchestrate an attempt. Because you can't just be threatening without, because people will just sit back and wait. An attempt has to be made. They have to contrive some sort of an attempt, like what was reported in the United States just prior to the elections. Everybody thought that was staged. You understand? So
not everybody thought that was staged, Wendell.
What that?
Not everybody thought that was staged. Some people thought it was real.
Okay, so let me take back that. A lot of people thought that was staged, right? That issue with the American president, the candidate at the time. So where are we going in this country? You understand? Because clearly the people who have been reporting these threats going about their life pretty normal as far as I see. And I don't know if people know that if somebody wants to get you in this place, I mean, we've been seeing it so many times with so many different people. They're going to get you. Plain and simple. Dr. Rowley spent 9.5 years as Prime Minister. 5 years in opposition, 9.5 years as Prime Minister. Got all manner of threats. The other day, he was pumping gas in a gas station by himself. You understand? You see former President come on all over the place. Well, I mean, I see him in St. James by himself. You know, we have had so many. Gary Griffith spent those years as Commissioner of Police. Got endless threats. I see him by himself. You understand? He was jumping on top of a bar table the other day celebrating England victory. So this place don't need this stress. It does not need this stress. Do what you need to do to protect yourself, fine. I have no problem with that. If you think that it's credible, do what you need to do to protect yourself and your children, if need be. But why does the whole country need to be under stress? So let me read this in case you all don't know, because it came out overnight. Their threats against Commissioner of Police Gavaro's 2 children also said to be in danger, but TTPS denies rogue senior cop involved. Commissioner of Police Alistair Gavaro is standing defiant in the face of death threats from the criminal elements directed at him and his family, insisting he will not allow cowardly acts of intimidation to deter him from hunting down the criminals. Responding to questions relating to a reported threat that if the criminal elements were unable to get to him, they would instead go after his 2 daughters, Gavaro labeled the threats a cowardice act. The latest threat was received by a police constable via the 999 hotline at 9:27 p.m. on Saturday, 11 July, that's Saturday gone. It claimed, and I quote, "Bosses and them want to come outside. It have too much F each at pong pong ing bosses inside, and if they don't come out, we can't, and if we can't get to him, we will get to his F each at pong pong ing children. We know we have a big daughter. We know he have a big daughter and a small daughter." Referring specifically to the threats, Gavaro said, "That is cowardly. Come after me all you want. But to threaten me to leave the bosses or they will come after my daughters, I want them to know that go Paul luck is not see Paul luck." Gavaro, noting that he is not prepared to back down from doing what needs to be done, including putting people considered to be untouchables behind bars, also warned, "Same rain does fall on everyone's roof." While he refrained from saying much else, the top cop reaffirmed his commitment to the job, repeating the oath he swore on the day he was installed as Commissioner of Police. Standing behind the Commissioner yesterday, ready to defend and carry out all lawful and legal instructions, Assistant Commissioner of Police Richard Smith said the officers of the TTPS would not be cowed or threatened into turning the other cheek by illegal entities intent on creating chaos and instilling fear in those who are fearlessly doing their job. I think he might have misused that term, turning the other cheek there. Concerned and angered over the threats also aimed at Gavaro's children, Smith also dismissed claims that a PDO had been sought for a senior police official who it was being claimed was corrupt and had close links to several underworld factions whose operations had been interrupted with the arrest of several of their agents' affiliates. Now, this terminology is coming from the TTPS earlier about a senior police officer who is rogue. It ain't coming from the general public. He said, claims that this officer had fled the country are erroneous. Smith accused certain people with hidden agendas of attempting to create mischief, following claims that the officer was in fact the person responsible for issuing threats to Gavaro and his family. "I can assure you that the Commissioner will continue to do his job without fear or favor," Smith said, adding that the executive of the TTPS was standing firmly behind Gavaro. Meanwhile, Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander also confirmed that he was aware of the threats issued to the Commissioner and his family yesterday. "The Commissioner and we speak on a daily basis, just like in other institutions for which I'm the line minister. We spoke, and what I can say is the information seems to be very credible. I have a lot of confidence in the Commissioner of Police. He knows what to do and what angle to take this. This is why I was telling persons before, what I was trying to explain to them is every time we get in Parliament and give the information as to the threats that are coming to ministers, etc., people outside there are changing the game. So if I say a threat is coming with a box in Parliament, are you still going to use the box? So the information keeps coming. I have a lot of confidence in the Commissioner of Police and his team. He has my full support of his actions since once it is within the framework of the law. That's the article that many of you all may not be aware of that came out overnight. So again, it's a minister being threatened, Prime Minister being threatened, Commissioner now being threatened. Well, before that was the whole Parliament was to get a rocket launcher. Where are we going with this? people. I don't know. But if it is meant to wear us down, it's wearing me down. I can tell you that. I can confess to that. It's wearing me down.
All right, headlines? Oh, that's headlines.
Oh, you want headlines? I figured out this. So let me go straight into headlines. Let me go straight into headlines. In the Trinidad Express online edition today, prison's boss sent on leave over Hadid special treatment. I saw that one coming. Remember when we read about how it was reported Mrs. Hadid was taking home to take a shower? I said that had trouble in it. So guess what? The prison's boss has been sent on leave over Hadid's special treatment. Threats for Guevaro's daughters. Black Caps bounce back, and that's New Zealand, of course, beat West Indies in a cricket game yesterday. Shimron Hetmeyer replaces Graves in West Indies ODI squad. In other stories, Pride TT in mourning over murdered Kobe. We spoke about that yesterday. Cop charge after man shot in Rao. Court upholds customs bid to recover $95,000 from importer. Those are all trending stories in today's Express online edition. All right.
All right, the Trinidad and Tobago Express for today. Not Express, sorry, Trinidad and Tobago Guardian for today. The main headlines: death threats against Commissioner of Police Guevaro's 2 children, also said to be in danger, but TTPS denies rogue senior cop involved. Prison boss sent on leave amid complaint Hadid getting VIP treatment in jail. And I think they were already talking more about Dominic Hadid, and because he's at MSP and the maximum security prison. Rubio launches campaign to dismantle ICC. I saw that curious message from Marco Rubio on, where did I see it? On YouTube last night, and I was like, what is this? And it was basically grousing about the ICC, which most of the world has signed on to, and which I think the main big countries never signed on to, like US, China. I don't think they signed on. Russia did not sign on. So, but the ICC was ratified by the majority of the countries on the planet. Domestic disputes, arguments, driving murder tool, says Alexander, and mom of shooting victim. Well, they just have that as the headline, which is a strange headline, quite frankly, without giving you any context. Business news: TNT's energy expansion endangers coral reefs, and exhibitors at 2026 TIC forex shortage impacting confidence and investment. Amin says son's Japan trip was privately funded. Caribbean Airlines adds 7,000 plus domestic seats for peak period. And Hetmeyer to replace Greaves in ODI squad. Lennox spins web around Windies to help Kiwis level series. Barbados, Antigua, and Barbuda advance to second round of AmeriCup. Club Sando, UTT to clash in WOLF final, and Ward and Watterson pull off Sajika and junior tennis upsets. And that's basically it. For the Trinidad Guardian, Trinidad and Tobago Guardian this morning. So that's it for our 2 dailies. So now you know what main headlines are in the 2 dailies in Trinidad and Tobago this morning.
All right. Did you know? And we will be back.
The British tried to ban Carnival in Trinidad, and the people took to the streets, torches in hand, and said, "You will not take this from us. To understand the Canboulay riots, you have to go back." After emancipation in 1834, freed Africans in Trinidad created a tradition. They would march through the streets at night, beating drums, carrying torches, singing. It was called Canboulay, from the French can brûler, burning cane. It was a reclaiming, a celebration of freedom. But the British colonial authorities hated it. To them, it was loud, it was black, it was uncontrollable. So Captain Arthur Baker, the new captain of police, decided in 1881 that Canboulay was over. He showed up on Carnival Sunday night in Port of Spain with a squad of officers to shut it down. What he didn't expect was that the people were ready. Thousands of Trinidadians, many of them former enslaved Africans and their children, refused to disperse. Sticks were raised, torches burned. The crowd fought back against the police, in the streets, for hours. Baker's men were overwhelmed. He had to personally negotiate with the crowd leaders just to stop the clash. They tried again in 1884, passed the Peace Preservation Ordinance, banning drumming, stick fighting, and torch processions. The people rioted again, in Aruca, in San Fernando, in Princestown. Every single time, Trinidadians said the same thing. This culture is ours and you don't get to erase it. Carnival survived. The drums survived. The spirit survived. Because ordinary people with nothing but torches in their bodies stood in front of colonial power and did not move. So the next time you're on the road for Carnival, jumping, waving, feeling that music in your chest, just remember, that moment was fought for. People bled for your right to be free in the streets. Canboulay wasn't just a riot. It was the foundation of every mass, every soca song, every juver morning you've ever had. If you're Trini or Caribbean and you never learned this in school, that's exactly why I make these videos.
So the accusation, the allegation is that the prisons commissioner was allowing Dominic Hadid to watch World Cup football.
Among other things.
Trinidad is one huge comedy, you know. I thought they put up a big TV and for everybody to watch wherever they want to watch. Was that a story we dealt with already? And where the TV was and all kind of thing?
I can't remember actually.
Yeah,
yes.
You had a big thing about that.
Yes, a big story about about a TV in the prison.
Yeah, and we thought it was like in a particular
area,
it was in the corridor where they have people in the cells.
Yes.
So I don't know if Mr. Hadid is in that area.
But I thought Mr. Hadid was in the detention center in Santa Rosa.
Well, initially the reports were that's where he was, but now I'm seeing from this report that he's in MSP. So I don't know. It's a very yeah. Trinidad and Tobago is in a very weird and strange period.
Where you think? You think?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
It's like a constant barrage every day. Every day it's just coming at us every day. My God.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
it'll be interesting to see. I'm interested. I wish I could time travel and see how history looks at this period, how it's analyzed. You know, in the middle of it, yeah, we do analysis of a certain sort every morning here in terms of expressing opinions and getting the opinions of people who wish to interact on whichever side of the fence that they wish to express an opinion. But it'll be interesting to see how history looks at this period, because not only at Trinidad and Tobago period, what's going on in the States, the Mark Rubio doing a video to say why they're upset with the ICC, which means the ICC is obviously grating against their nerves for some reason, And what was the ICC set up for? To deal with criminal conduct of governments across the planet. Ultimately.
Yeah. It says, the article says, I'll just read this little part. This week, officers reported seeing Mr. Hadid inside the prison administration building at Golden Grove, where he was permitted to receive table visits and to watch World Cup football on television. These privileges are not afforded to any other detainee held under PDOs, and they directly contradict established security protocols and long-standing administrative practice. He added that a prison officer too was assigned specifically to Hadid, despite the fact that the condemned divisions at the Port of Spain prison remain without the required complement of prison officer twos. This disparity in resource allocation is untenable and raises serious questions about operational priorities and fairness. Logie stated that officers also observed Hadid outside in the airing yard after 8:30 p.m., well beyond the permitted hours for detainees under PDOs. He stated that this level of unsanctioned movement was a clear breach of security and exposed officers to unnecessary risk, and warned that other detainees were being affected by Hadid's preferential treatment. Logie also alleged that Hadid's wife, Genevieve, who is being held at the Golden Grove Women's Prison, was seen with Hadid at the police administration building.
At the police administration building in Sackville Street?
Prison administration building. Oh. So I guess that building is where? That building is at the Golden Grove prison too.
It is a Golden Grove, but well, I'm a little confused because the maximum security prison is on a separate compound from the women's prison.
Well, let me read over what I just read.
Unless
they carry it.
But no, well, it doesn't make sense because the maximum security prison is on an entirely different compound to the Golden Grove prison. Remember, they're adjacent, but they're not the same compound. And as far as the prison administration center is on the Golden Grove compound.
Well, okay, let me read it again. Logie also alleged that Hadid's wife, Genevieve, who is being held at the Golden Grove Women's Prison, was seen with Hadid at the prison administration building. So he is alleging.
It's an allegation.
He's alleging. He's alleging. That she was seen across there with him. Right? These actions have already created significant. So nobody take a picture. Nobody do a video. None of these prison officers, they can't keep a phone in prison now. The prison officers just can't keep phones either.
I don't know. You'll have to ask prison officers.
Any prison officer listening to us or watching us, let us know if you're allowed to have your phone as a worker at the prison.
No, the prison administration building is not that far from the women's prison. But the women's prison is on the Golden Grove compound, but it's of course in a different direction to the men's prison. And the ERF, I think, the extended remand facility, which is more to the, in a different area too. But,
so no other. Somebody saying the prison administration building is on Phillips Street, Port of Spain. No, not that. It wouldn't be that one. It would be the administration building up at Golden Grove.
That's more like a head office.
Yeah.
But the one, if they're talking about the one on the compound, it's on the Golden Grove compound.
Yeah. So right. Ian Stewart is saying they are not allowed to have phones. But plenty prisoners, no, I don't say every again. Plenty prisoners that have phones, not so? Nobody ain't got a little picture? Oh, Lord. Trinidad, I'm tired. I'm really, really tired. I'm tired. I have to laugh, otherwise I'm going to cry.
Huh? Yeah, so people, you can call us at 281-1315 or 299-5156. So we can take a couple of your calls before we get into the pool and stuff of the day, right? So 281-1315 and 299-5156. Caller, good morning.
Good morning to you, Richard, Sir Charles, Mr. Wendell. Why are you surprised at what's going on right now? It's smoke screen after smoke screen. Who does the public know about all these things? They send it in the domain. They make smoke screen after smoke screen. Imagine them have security around them 24 hours. We, the citizen, the public of Trinidad and Tobago, don't have that kind of privilege. And them frightened. Tanty and Papi going and collect the little pension in the bank. As they come out, banded locking their neck to thief. And then when all they could do is just go to the police station and make a report, and get a receipt. Any extra security for Dante and Papi, you know? You understand? Right now, they don't pull out over 500 million from the stabilization fund. Mr. I try to remember the Redskin man, the economist who you all had on the program. He and all was asking the question.
Mariano.
Money for what? Still, but anyway, King Kong, tell them how to get paid. Remember, it's 20,000. What them fellas don't get paid for, you know. And we go get the money from. They were there to cut CPEP, they had a thing now, they want a bus. They want to cut Milat and all. Right now, just now we have no parade. I sent you something last night, so Charles, with it. They want to have no parade. I'm not surprised how much the parade costing, over $2 million. All right, we ain't going to use it, we go cycle that. You understand? It's a set of smoke screen after smoke screen after smoke screen. I'm fearful for my life. And we have security 24. So we're going to leave for me and you, my dear gentlemen. We're going to leave for me and you to do.
Okay, thanks very much, Kola. Yeah. Kola, good morning to you. All right, Kola, I lost him.
But we are going to be polling the issue of the death threats. Well, the other one came after, but the specific death threat to a sitting minister, allegedly by a former minister. We are going to be polling that this morning. All right?
Okay. Kola, good morning.
Good morning, good morning.
Morning,
I
Mr.
guess it's early this morning, boy.
But is that Mr. Grant?
Yeah, so I get in early this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, look, this whole place gone upside down, yes? The government running this place, like they remind me of when I used to go to theater long time and see Shane, Lee Van Cleef and them fellas. It's only stretch. They only threaten people right through. You know what I mean? And I see last night I get up watching TV. I see Trump lost one set of case up in New York with some lawyer he had it. So Attorney General, a judge lick him up. So the same thing going on happen down here too. And such as shave up them little white thing and make it sure your head look together on a man. Look like a uniform man. Like we had. All right, all the best.
All right. As he talked Trump, I don't know if you all been following what's been happening with America, the US and Iran again. Eh? It's escalating beyond measure again. It's
like a seesaw.
Huh?
It's like a seesaw.
It's crazy. And I also saw a story. I haven't seen it since the initial of that building in Manhattan. Did you see that building in Manhattan that is about to fall down?
Well, they said that they had structural issues and they were trying to shore it up. Yeah.
That can show up. Everything bending and leaning on that building. They have abandoned it. They have evacuated it and all the buildings around it. That will be a hell of a disaster in Manhattan if that comes down.
Don't they have but if they deem it as a building that has to come down, they have a way that they do it, that they manage how it's done. Yeah.
Yes, they do. Yeah. But this one was apparently coming down on its own.
Yeah. They had to realize there were structural issues there.
Yeah. But that was a frightening story. When you see the columns bending like that.
Yeah.
You know?
I
was looking at the different story. The proposed MOUs, not the proposed, they signed MOUs for the data centers for I think 150,000 megawatts and a 150,000 megawatt and a 300,000 megawatt data centers. One in Central Trinidad and one in Davie. And I was looking at what the energy requirements were for those, kind of modeling through, looking at things like that up yesterday. And 150,000 and a 300,000 megawatt data center uses the equivalent energy of between 150 to 200,000 households in Trinidad and Tobago.
It's like a mini city, they said.
Yeah, it's not incredible.
Yeah.
200,000, like 200,000 households in Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and Tobago is estimated to have, 500,000 households, if so much. It's between 400 and 500,000 households we have estimated. That'll be like, I don't know, nearly more than a third of those households. And of course, they have lots of water requirements because, data centers need to be cooled because there's so much heat being generated because they're constantly, doing what they do. And the volume of water that you're going to need for those two data centers. So I don't know what now. I don't doubt that there is an economic benefit to having them, but there also is obviously a energy resource component, and I know that there are also possible environmental impacts. I'm starting to see some, because I started, once you start to search something, everything has started to come up in your stream.
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering, this is obviously something that has to be really, really thought through, because we ain't at the point where you have 24/0 water in taps across Trinidad and Tobago. I could speak for Arima. I don't know what is going on with the Guanapo plant. I know under the previous government, there was an IDB loan that was being utilized to upgrade that so that Central Arima gets 24 hours supply of water. I don't know if that has gone on pause. I don't know why the IDB is even bothered with Trinidad anymore. They should blacklist us. Because it seems that IDB funded projects go awry in Trinidad and Tobago, especially when governments change. Because they had an IDB project with the smart city focus of Arima. Well, God alone knows, and his deputies, whatever happened to that and what is going on with that. I don't even know if the Wi-Fi still exists in Arima. I have no clue. No clue if it exists. And what are the plans for that smart city and when they're taking that forward. And it's like everybody going, yeah, well, you know what? And we going on hunky-dory down the road. And I'll be like, what?
Richard! What? Richard, hold up. We're
going to try to go into that AI thing a little more tomorrow, God willing. But today our poll is, are you expecting a PDO to be issued against the former minister who allegedly threatened Minister Padarat? If you're voting yes, you vote 1. If you're voting no, you vote 2. All right? Do you expect a PDO to be issued? Because this story, don't forget the magistrate story the other day, people. It just gone. It just disappeared. It's like every day you're being bombarded with some new story about some threat or some corruption issue or something. It's just tired. But do you expect a PDO to be issued against the former minister? Yes or no? That's our poll today. All right?
All right. And when we come back after the news, we'll tell you how you voted.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is News Now on Net Radio and Guile TV. I am Derek McMillan. Thank you for joining us. Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar says the PNM should present its evidence in court instead of claiming political persecution over the investigation into the funding of Balazir House. Responding to criticism from PNM Chairman Marvin Gonzalez, the Prime Minister said the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service and the judiciary are independent institutions, and the government does not direct investigations or court proceedings. She said if the PNM maintains its headquarters was built through lawful fundraising and donations, it should provide the supporting financial records to the court, which will determine the facts. Her comments come after the High Court granted a preliminary unexplained wealth order requiring the PNM and its trustees to explain the funding behind the multi-million-dollar construction of Balazir House. Former Prime Minister Stuart Young is accusing the UNC-led government of politically targeting the PNM over the investigation into the funding of Balazir House. Young says any allegations of wrongdoing should be dealt with through due process and the rule of law, while accusing the government of political persecution. Meanwhile, PNM Treasurer Robert LaHunt has rejected claims that the party's headquarters cost $118 million, calling the figure exaggerated. He says he has not seen the documents being used by the state in its investigation. Economist Professor Roger Hossain says the government's proposed AI data center could benefit Trinidad and Tobago's economy, but cautions that the project is still in its early stages. Speaking on CNC3's The Morning Brew, Hussein said the facility could generate much-needed foreign exchange and create jobs if it develops into an export-oriented business. He described the government's recently signed memorandums of understanding, including the AI data center project, as steps in the right direction, but stressed there is still a long way to go before the projects become operational. The AI proposal has also drawn questions over its energy and water demands, environmental impact, and expected economic returns. Government says those issues will be addressed as the project advances. Rural Development and Local Government Minister Khadija Amin says no public funds are being used to finance her son's trip to Japan, following questions raised on social media. Amin said she is in Japan on an official visit at the invitation of the Japanese government, which is covering all of her travel expenses. She said her son Jeremiah is traveling with her, but all of his expenses, including airfare, accommodation, and meals, are being paid from her personal funds. Amin also stressed that her son does not attend official engagements and that photos shared online were taken after her official duties had ended. The San Juan Business Association is renewing its call for a temporary fire station and emergency ambulance service, saying 2 recent incidents have highlighted the need for faster emergency response. The association says the recent medical emergency involving former Finance Minister Karen Nunez Teixeira and an armed robbery at a nearby medical center exposed gaps in emergency services and public safety. It is proposing a temporary fire station with ambulance services to cover San Juan and St. Joseph until a permanent facility is built. The association is also calling for increased police patrols, warning that continued violent crime could threaten businesses, healthcare providers, and essential services operating in the district. Finally, U.S. President Donald Trump says the United States is reinstating a naval blockade of Iranian ports and will impose a 20% charge on cargo passing through the Strait of Hormuz. Trump says the move will prevent Iranian ships and customers from using the key oil route while allowing other countries continued access. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araqi responded that Iran would remain the guardian of the strait. The announcement comes as the U.S. and Iran continue exchanging strikes, with Washington saying it launched another round of attacks on Iranian targets. The Strait of Hormuz is a major global energy route through which a significant portion of the world's oil and gas supplies pass. And that is Net Radio News at this time.
That was news now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio. Net Radio.
All aboard! Calling all you Net Radio listeners and fans. It's time to pack your cooler, gather your crews. Join us on Net Radio. Net Radio Halloween Cooler Crew in red, white, and black. On board the luxurious Island Royalty, Saturday, 15th of August, boarding at 7 p.m. from Hardcuts Shagaramas. We sail at 8 p.m. sharp. Enjoy great music all night long from your favorite net DJs: Sir Charles, CJ, Mr. Flavor, Doc International, RJ, and Fluffman.
Tell you you's a big dancer. Come show
Early
them who's
bird
a big
tickets
dancer.
are just $200. After $250. Get your tickets now at Crosby in St. James, Rumba, St. James, Bobby's Bar in Crep, Fats International in Arima, K Square Fashions at C3 Center, West Mall, and Eastgate Small, and all net DJs. No glass bottles allowed. Bring your cooler, bring your crews, and let's celebrate together. Net Radio, Halloween Cooler Crew, Saturday, August the 15th, aboard the Island Royalty. For information, call 638-2609 or 497-7173. Call we on the scene. S&H Rum Box, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rum Box, drinking out of the box.
Are you a business owner? Well, take advantage of NETT Radio and Gael Caribbean TV Christmas in July advertising special. Throughout the month of July, enjoy 33% off all advertising packages. Whether you are micro, small, medium, or large business, now is the perfect time to put your product and service in front of the people who matter. Reach your audience through radio, television, and social media, all at 33% off. Don't miss this limited Christmas in July offer. Call us today at 281-1315 or 299-5156 and let NETT Radio and Gael Caribbean TV help you grow your business. But hurry, this special offer ends July 31st. It's Christmas in July on NETT Radio and Gael Caribbean TV.
End times is here. Are you prepared? Check us on New Era TT Radio or NETT Radio with Brother Raka and Brother Yatazakawa on Mondays from 7 to 8 p.m. End times is here. Stay tuned.
What? Your mid-morning just got better. Join Sir Charles for the mid-morning mix and mingle, where good music, real talk, health, and family matters come together, and your voice is heard. Whether you're at work, on the go, or just taking a break, this is the perfect mix to keep you engaged, informed, and entertained. The mid-morning mix and mingle, weekdays, 9 a.m. to 12 noon on New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio.
This is the NETT Radio Breakfast Show.
Hey, get that. Every time parang season comes around, day and night I hearing the same old song. Pick up me quattro to go with the boys. Before I hit the door, you start making noise. When this year trying something new, I staying home with you. All the chores I helping you do. I'm tired of the complaining, the constant tongue lashing. So when they come for me, I want you go with me. Oh yo, then you go see how the parang. Why I love me parents so. Way yo, just come along. You do bound to love this song. Way yo, then you go know why I love me parents so. Way yo, hey, come go, get it. Way yo, come go, hey yeah. Give it. Yo yo yo, yeah yeah yeah. You accusing me for having outside woman, and when I deny, you swell up your mouth. You really know what parang is about. So while you sewing the curtain, I go do the cooking, boil the ham, do the house cleaning, vanish the chairs for you, black cake I'm making too. But when we done, honey, you must parang with me. Way yo, then you go see how the parang looks at me. Way yo, now you go know why I love me parang so. Way yo, just come along. You don't want to love this song. Way yo, now you go know why I love me parang so. Way yo, hey, come go, get up. Way yo, hey, come go. me parents so. Way yo, just come along. You the bound to learn this song. Way yo, now you gonna know why I love me parents so. Way yo, come go. Way yo, come go. Get there.
Sereno será.
Hey,
Será madrugada.
levanta.
Sereno será. Será madrugada.
Mornings just got better. You're locked into NETT Radio Breakfast Show. Fueling your day with the best music and real talk.
Yeah, Sereno Serra. It is Christmas in July right here on New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio. Trust me, I don't know about you, but I just loving Christmas in July. Welcome everybody inside of the second hour. This is the Breakfast Show. The Breakfast Show, Wendell Stephen, Richard Ragobar singing, and of course yours truly, Sir Charles. Monday to Friday, we are here to keep you company. And we really want to say a very special good morning to everybody coming in. Yeah, those of you in Trinidad and Tobago and in other spaces around the world, thank you so much for making us your choice. Right? We know you got choices, and we're happy that we are that choice. Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. until 9 a.m. Well, I tell you, the Breakfast Show, it's on. Let me say a good morning also to Gael Caribbean TV. Just a couple of things to let you know, people. Remember, coming up, well, first of all, let me say that when we come off of the Gael feed, and of course our social media platform at around 9 o'clock, you can come across to netradiott.com, and you can listen to us all day and every day, because we stream all day and every day, right? Also, you can pick us up on your different platforms. So whether you're streaming on TuneIn, Radio Garden, Online Radio Box, Simple Radio, MyTuner, yeah, we are global. You can get NETT Radio. Just put us in your search engine, NETT Radio Trinidad, and we will appear in that search engine, right? Also, you can give Alexa, and of course, your who's next one? Siri, just take instruction. I don't know. Tell them play NETT Radio Trinidad, and of course, yeah, you can get us on all your smart devices. Yeah, of course, our social media pages: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and of course, our WhatsApp channel. It is all NETT Radio Trinidad. That is all you need to look for, and you can like, subscribe, and follow. And if you want to support us financially on the platform, all you have to do is go to our website, which is netradiott.com. There's a blue button in between there that says donate. That way you can donate and support the channel, right? Alright, so our morning poll is up. So do you expect those PDOs to be given to that person who is responsible for threatening the minister? Well, if you're voting yes, you're voting 1. If you're voting no, you're voting 2, right? And when we come back, we tell you how you voted. Remember, coming up at 11 o'clock today, Denise Deming, Common Ground. She's talking with Dr. Botirari. Let me play it safe here. That conversation is on between 11 and 12 here on NETT Radio. And of course, our social media people, Facebook, YouTube, that is your next engagement on the platform today, okay? And also coming up at around 7:30, we'll be talking with Robert Young of the cloth. Yeah. Talking fashion and design today, okay? Stay with us, don't go anywhere, and of course make sure you get your tickets for the Cooler Cruise.
Calling all you NETT Radio listeners and fans. It's time to pack your cooler. Join us for NETT Radio's Halloween Cooler Cruise in red, white, and black. On board the luxurious Island Royalty, Saturday, the 15th of August. Boarding at 7 p.m. from Haircuts, Shagaramas. We stay at 8 p.m. sharp. Enjoy great music all night long from your favorite NETT DJs. Sir Chad, CJ, Mr. Flavor, Duck International, RJ, and Flockman. Early bird tickets are just $200. After $250. Get your tickets now at Crosby St. James, Bobby's Bar Correct, Fats International in Arima, K Square Fashion at C3 Center, West Mall, Eastgate Mall, and all NETT DJs. No glass bottles allowed. Bring your cooler, bring your crew, and let's celebrate together. NETT Radio, Color Week, Hula Crew. Saturday, August the 15th, aboard the Island Royalty. For information, call 638-2609 or 497-7173. Color Week, on the scene.
All right, people, so we are back here on the Breakfast Show on this Tuesday morning. I don't know why I keep, like, I'm not sure what day it is.
Okay.
It's Wendell, it's Wendell that calls it that, Right, okay.
Trust me. When I go on holiday, I get a little echo here. Yeah. When I
go ahead.
When I leave this place, I have a lot of days like this. I ain't sure if it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but I know when it's Friday.
Yeah.
Because every day that's come like Friday for me then.
Yeah, when you travel, but when you're home and you ain't going nowhere, and you get a feeling that kind of way.
But it's sunny in Arima this morning. I don't know. I hoping it remains that way today.
Mm-hmm.
It's sun right now. But yeah, lots of votes on our poll today. Of course, we asked, do you expect a PDO to be issued? Now, as I said, this thing happened since December last year. Of course, somebody compiled a video of Minister Padarat all over the place since then. You know what I mean? But yeah, so these death threats, I would imagine they come with some offices and they come with some attitudes. You know what I mean? You're going to get them. So how do we deal with them? Because as I say, yesterday was Mr. Padarat, today now is the Commissioner of Police and his daughters. You know what I mean? When does it stop? Because I would imagine the Commissioner of Police would have had security anyway. Because he has an escort and whatnot. I think that's been happening with all commissioners of police for however long. You know what I mean? And they live at the commissioner's residence in the barracks. You can't get more police than right there by the barracks. You know what I mean? So where this goes, I don't know. We're gonna try to talk with Gary Griffith tomorrow, though, because I would imagine when he was commissioner, he had reported how many threats he was getting, and we all know Gary style at the time. You understand? He had reported he was getting threats. You know what I mean? So we're gonna try to chat with him tomorrow. So how he dealt with it then, because the commissioner is saying he will deal with it. He's not afraid. He's not gonna let anybody cover him, which is what you're supposed to say. You know what I mean? Anyway, but we will try to get into that tomorrow, God willing, and a little more of the AI data centers. Because as I say, we just read up on it. We don't know anything. I saw an interview with Minister Prakash Prasad, he's the Minister of Tertiary Education, who said it's just an MOU, is nothing to get worked up about at the moment. You know what I mean? Because it's an expensive project. It's how many jobs it will provide? We're hearing 5,000 and all these kind of figures. I don't know, like UNC have a thing with this $5,000 job figure. Like they figure everybody must say 5,000 jobs we're going to create it for any manner of things. We're going to create 5,000 jobs, But
CPAP wasn't supposed to be about 20,000.
CPAP can't be 20,000.
Well, I mean, they obviously, but I mean, I am sure that there are economic benefits if you could make that happen, and if you could work out the energy and environmental cost that minimizes it. for to the population of Trinidad and Tobago. But I mean, to me, you would have to look in terms of an energy factor. You would have to look at wind, and you'd have to look at solar energy as renewable sources for things like that. I don't know how much you would need to how much wind energy or whatever you would need. I know there was a project looking at wind energy assessment, I think in Galiuta and in Orange Valley. So I don't know how far gone those investigations have been. And there's supposed to be a huge solar park in Brechin Castle. I'm not so sure how far it's been completed at this point. So I suppose things like that, I assume it's going to have to be desalination plants helping to deal with the water issue for those data centers. I mean, those are things that you'd have to kind of work through. As to the additional environmental impacts, I'm not educated on it, so I can't really speak to it. But all of those things are going to have to be factored. Will it make Trinidad and Tobago a digital hub in the Caribbean? Absolutely. And would there be some other economic benefits in terms of further foreign investment attached to the fact that you have data centers? Most probably. But, yeah, it's a balancing act like everything else when you're making those kinds of decisions that have an effect on your industrial capacity in terms of energy and water.
Wind energy, I know, is a big thing out there in Europe, especially in Amsterdam and those places. It's a big thing. Whether we have the capacity to do it here, sure, why not? You know what I mean? But it's just that we can't provide basic amenities for our own people. You understand? At this point in time, to expand it, to provide for these, how should I put it, glory projects, we'll wait and see. Whether it's a way of spending money or generating employment. I don't know.
But it is that I think the government will have to do a serious PR program to get buy-in for it, because there is some petitions that we are seeing already outside against it. And in all fairness to the Prime Minister, this morning there's an article in the Express where she did outline certain things. I haven't gone into it in total detail, but she did identify one or two places where it can be held. She also talked about where the water will be coming from, or what they will be using, and some things like that. But as I said, they have to go out and sell it. They have to go out and sell it.
Government don't have to sell. That's where we differ. This government don't have to sell nothing. They have to get buying on nothing. Whatever them want to do, they're going to do it. They already get buying from the electorate. The electorate don't give them an overwhelming majority. Them ain't going to try to sell nothing. You understand? If that's what they want to do, that's what they're going to do.
And that's probably the difference between them and the last administration, because...
Well, the last administration never got an overwhelming majority. They've never... PNM since the early days have never gotten an over...
But when they were treating with the smelter and the pushback and all that sort of thing, didn't they have...
They got pushback. They got pushback for that.
They got plenty pushback.
Yeah.
So I do know that I agree that they can do anything they want.
Yeah.
I believe that the citizenry also still has a voice.
Yeah.
They have a vote. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
okay. We are going to differ on that.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, we agree. All of us agree on this morning program that the PNM is talk, consult, talk again, consult. Go out to the public, talk some more, consult. Listen, consult. White paper, green paper, brown paper, paper bag. Consult again. That's what the PNM did.
Right.
That's why the smelter got nowhere.
Consultations on a shelf. That's what has happened with the PNM.
Yes. The sandals remain right. Everything remain right there, because guess what? They only want to listen, and talk. Get it done.
Let's wrap up the poll, because I guess it's there.
I'm already showing those surcharges. At least it's not showing on my screen.
It's showing on my screen, surcharges, which are the old time thing.
Yeah, I'm not seeing
He had to wait
I'm seeing a count. I'm not seeing the bar moving anywhere. You seen the bar?
Which bar? I see the yes is 25% and no 75. You not seen that?
It's there, but it's not giving me any information.
Okay, well, I have the information for you,
Yeah,
sir.
All right.
Our poll is, are you expecting a PDO to be issued against the former minister who allegedly threatened Minister Pararat? I don't think his name has a H at the end. I'm not sure. But yes, 25%, they're expecting that PDO to be issued, and 75% said no. All right? 75% said no. Well, that just like the magistrate we waiting to be charged for corruption, that just like the two independent senators who tried to solicit a bribe. The stories are endless, none of which makes sense. None.
Well, only time will tell, right?
Well, what we know is that Dominic and Genevieve Hadid were issued PDOs, have been detained without charge. That much we know. The allegation is that they conspired to kill the Prime Minister. And the other allegation is that land leases have been withdrawn from them. That we know. We know.
And we have always said, if you have robust information, charge them. And if you don't, release.
Yep.
And that's how it should work. And I maintain that the cancelling of those leases can have a ripple effect in terms of the business community and business investment into the country. Anytime you may think that you're doing something, that you think in your mind is correct, but there are repercussions, in my opinion, to that. Because business confidence, you know what they like? They like stability. They like lack of any issue so that they could deal with investment. And anytime they see issues that look uncertain, there are 100 other countries they could go to where they don't have to study whether X will happen or Y will happen or Z will happen.
Yeah. And guess what? What we know for sure too now? Oh, all right. Okay. What we know for sure is that there are threats coming left, right, and center. Where are we going with this? We don't know. You understand? This government needs to settle down. They just need to forget this vindictive, spiteful way of governing and settle down and get things done for the benefit of people. That's what they need to do.
Well, I suppose at the end of the day, their trust is part of the business of all administrations, So, anyhow, let's get our Let's Talk segment now, all right?
Yeah.
Robert Young, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
And welcome to the Breakfast Show this morning. We appreciate you taking the time to speak with us.
Thank you.
Morning, Mr. Young.
Morning.
All right. I would have spoken to you. Is this your brother? Richard is your brother, right?
Richard's my brother, yeah.
Right. Yeah. I would have interviewed Richard in the past. I've never interviewed you.
I am hardly interviewed.
You hardly interviewed, is that what you said?
Yeah.
All right. But thanks for joining the absolute best show on radio.
Yeah, but I mean, the cloth brand has been, around for decades.
Yeah, 4 decades.
4 decades. That's an incredible achievement. I mean, you must be proud that you were able to sustain a brand in a space like Trinidad and Tobago for that, for that length of time in terms of fashion. What in retrospect, in looking back on those 4 decades, how do you feel of what you've achieved? Would you change anything? Would you have done anything differently?
One thing, some years ago, a friend of mine asked me if I gave myself consent to do this for this long, and I didn't. When she asked me the question, that actually brought tears to my eyes, because it was like I was doing something in a kind of way that was like you put up those boats that you used to play with in the ravines long time, and you just follow the flow with it, and that's what I did, right? So with that kind of stubbornness, and also I always tell people I'm unemployable by anybody else. So I just had to do this. So that's honest answer. And it is one. I was asking somebody who did the logo design before this one, who said, "Thanks for doing what you did because we got something we didn't know that we needed in the space, right?" So, yeah, I'm surprised that I stayed doing this so long, and I'm surprised that it has some relevance still, right? Because we're finding spaces in other parts of the world, not big, but finding spaces. So we sell right now in Fukushima, Japan, in Martha's Vineyard, in Mustique, in Kyiv, in Belgrade, Serbia, in Santa Fe, and we are going to be in a pop-up shop in Harrods from September.
That's incredible. That's a quite wide range of countries that your product is in. That has to be very rewarding. I mean the issue of the work you have done over 4 decades and seeing it materialize must have a certain amount of self-validation that you have lasted this long. Besides the passion, obviously something very organic from what the analogy you gave, that you were just going with the flow basically, and so that it had to be something in you that just, this is what I had to do, this is what I was meant to do.
And you're still on stage, right?
Yep.
Right. So, and that it could be 4 decades.
Yep.
Right. So and you're still alive. So right. So there's like with me, I was one of the people that I went to junior sec. I tell people, I said to somebody last night, I got my 5 O levels in 5 years. So it wasn't. I wasn't. Yeah. So I just happened to do this because when I started, I'm not diminishing what the attempt, right? Or the try, because I still say I try to be a designer. It's an attempt of doing this. We also show in Paris and in Tokyo, but at trade shows. And right now also I'm involved in developing a Pan-African cooperative fashion system in partnership with a bank in Africa that will span the region, what they consider global Africa, with trying to get designers organized and into markets and into production. We're trying to develop a worker cooperative, but there's a board that I'm on trying to get that to happen. So I am the son of 2 trade unionists, and so the attempt to try to get this space to work better, to cooperate, to understand the history of people like us and what we need to do, has always been part of what the brand is about and what I am about. So yeah, I get straight. So let me pull me back.
Why the name The Cloth? How did that come about?
Because it could have slipped through school. I said, if I didn't do this, there's a work I could get that is easy. I grew up as an Anglican. I stopped going to the church at 18. So the cloth started when I was 21. And I said, if I don't do this, I will be a priest. Because a priest, you get a work, you get a house, you get a car, and you get people to believe in something that you don't have to convince them of. And you could possibly graduate and get a house around the savannah.
What is this man saying?
That's the job spec, right?
Right. So man of the cloth, right? And so the cloth came about from that.
Oh, so this is as close to being priestly as you could have gotten.
Yes, not that I wanted to be a priest work. I wanted to do a priest work, but that was a kind of way to have a kind of relatively okay life. Yeah.
So I'm assuming you have that house wrong in Savannah?
No. I don't live in the corner of that street and
You just know the job spec and what the job.
Yes. Right, it still happen.
I'm getting the Richard out there now. Not this is the Richard I know.
So the call came out from that, but is also Fabrica Society and all those things, analogies that come up after the fact, right? And also the cloth started at first in May 86. We showed, and there are people involved like Wenderman Warren, who modeled, Jason Jones, Martin Telfer, and there's some other man I don't know. Can't remember his name. And then a few months later, Richard launched a show called did a show for UE called Meeting Point in August 86, and that's when I worked with Camille Selvon, who worked with me on the first show, but not as a team and not as a collaboration. Natalie Phillips and Adele Todd. And we worked together but for 3 years, and they slowly pulled away. I was a person who was not an artist, didn't know how to paint, never did anything creative before, and tried to tell these women who eventually Adele is Yui, Camille is Anime Carib, and Natalie Phillips is helping run Chimu Bakery. But she went to school in to do design. Adele went to Pratt. Camille went to Goldsmith after. I still doing this, but I used to try to tell them what to do. So they just said like, no. So they left. In different stages. So I ended up doing this for a while, and then I formed a company with Denise Kuru, who had a brand called Homework Alpha at that time. That was around 91, 90. And then that split in 93. And then I ran the cloth up till by myself. Right now where I live is the old studio. And then in 2017, I built a relationship with two people who are not based here. One is there now, Rolly Buffton, and the CEO of the company now is a young woman called Sophie Buffton. She lives in not in Trinidad. She has been in Trinidad since 2019 because of COVID and her father's death. And so I have a lot of support in making the markets happen, right? You can't do this without collaboration.
Yeah.
So what I've noticed, Robert, is that your type of design, clothing design, is now making a huge comeback all over Europe and kind of North America and so on, because a lot of people are now wearing these big kind of flowing garments now, as opposed to the era of the tight clothes now. You don't see that anymore out there.
Well, we still see a lot of men and women wear tight clothes in Trinidad. They try to around the Batoggy space, try to all right, let me see, I could show that I'm smaller, right? So, or one person described it to me, and like that law we have about how people should dress to go to government offices. The reason why people wear this clothes, other than it's cool and all that, but also it's less fabric and it's cheaper. Because it's really an attack on poor people getting into spaces than what people should wear, right? Right. People wear vests and short pants, and you can't go to court with I remember Lloyd Best talking about you get put to the court because you're in a shirt jacket and a short pants. I get put out of spaces for wearing the cloth. I couldn't go to, so I don't go to any event that I have to be determined if I can get in through the person at the door.
Right.
Right, because I want to go through that. Because we have historical colonialism and a kind of anti-blackness that operates in the space still, right? Operates with me, operates with you all, and operates in the society. And you see the rise of it right now in the world and in the country.
Yeah. What Robert, what inspires your design and your design choices? Is it well, let me not influence your answer. You tell me what inspired.
So it had many reasons why it didn't work, right? So at first was I always tell people, I have a shirt that still makes, right? It's still made. That there are two shirts. There's one shirt I saw in the studio yesterday made that was first shown in 1986 and it's still being made. They have another shirt, the shirt with the box in the front that David Rudder wore all through the 90s. That shirt is still being made. At first was, when I tried to analyze it, there's one time I was at a conference in Guadeloupe. Jean-Paul Gaultier and I were on a panel, right? He's talking a French design, and I was talking about trying to derive Caribbean design. And I said, part of what we do is influenced by limits. My limit of economy, limit of fabric choice, the limit of technology of how to make things, and also, well, the economy will influence what you offer to the market, because you can't offer size 2 to size 20. You have to offer freer size clothing, and you came from Arima. People like Cyprian Thomas was an influence in how I saw design, because I came into design not as a person who was involved in fashion. Before I was doing that, I was across the river attempting to farm, right? Just across from here, and a friend, Nigel Celestin, he was part of the cloth in the first like about few weeks. So it's also right now I think about the description is that I try to create like spiritual armor for people, like a cocoon. That's one way, because in investigation, people wear the cloth for their graduations, their children christening, their weddings, funerals, promotions, any celebrity. Most people in Trinidad buy this local designer to kind of big up themselves, right? So it's like, this is me. It's not a way to work. So people use it to kind of enter the world, right? So those are some of the influences. Also the use of color. We use less color now and less applique. But that had a weird definition for me at a time where I want to interrupt how you see me as a black person, right? If you see the color, the clothing I'm wearing, and the shape, something, and why is this? So it kind of disrupts your mind to think about me differently before you think about me the self-imposed ways or the internalized ways of how you see people that look like me or people from the Caribbean. So I do this with some kind of processing of why I do it, and sometimes retrospectively find a reason of what informed my direction. So those are some of the influences. Also, the space. There's some parts of the work. There's a shirt, the applique that we do call the Union Man, that kind of represented a kind of version of Transport Industrial Workers Union logo. But it was my dad like this, but I was things like Trinidad's history kind of informs me, and Trinidad's attempt to get a different life. So like I will mention this. There's a book being launched next week at the we're working with Jai Kernahan, Malcolm Jai Kernahan, one of the people who was involved in NUFF. From SEM, wasn't NUFF, the group, the National Union of Freedom Fighters. That most of us don't know. He's just published a book that he's written since 1982, but he couldn't release it because of the material that exists in the book, because it's about a group of guerrillas who attempted to overthrow the government. So investigation of all those things. So if I can't put it into fashion, I do it within the small carnival band I have called NUFF, right? Called Vulgar Fraction, and we did a band celebrating or commemorating the people like Beverly Jones, who was killed, and Guy Harewood, and Jeffers. So, and this is an interesting time to think about a group like NUFF.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they. Yeah.
Do you look because you talked about looking at Trinidad in a particular way, and of course you're based here, so you can't but be influenced by the place in which you live, and that in some way influences your design. In terms of the current period of Trinidad and Tobago, is there some sort of feeling that you have in terms of designs going forward, or you're still marinating in it?
Marinating, because it will be a response. I attempted to work with the communities, so we did a lot of steel band work for years, right? And some people didn't know or wasn't aware. Sometimes we used to do as much as 4 steel bands for Panorama, right? Phase 2, Supernovas, Invaders, Renegades, Skiffle Bunch, Fonclair, Tropical Angel Harps, Pamberry, 2 bands in Tobago, Redemption Songsetters, and Buccaneers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. So there is an attempt to try to have a dialogue with the space. This space, it feels constricted, so I might do tight clothes.
For the muscle men and them.
No. For the constriction that we feel. Or I might do. We might have to bring back and do mask again because you feel muzzled. Yeah.
Interesting. But where can people find your product? Sorry?
I see you duck that whole enough talk.
Yeah,
right?
Well,
it kind of connected.
Yeah. Right.
With all what's happening now, you mean?
Yeah, enough is enough.
Yeah. Because that made Mr. Burrows, then commissioner, very famous back then.
He wasn't commissioner of police. He was running the
flying squad.
And he was like the response of 22 people were killed.
Mm-hmm.
22 people were killed, and they were killed by a 400 to 500 member police army force, right?
Yes.
That was hard. When I read that book the other day, I was like, them fellas was kind of mad or brave or delusional, right? There were times where 6 of them was pick up their things and they went to deal with the encroachment of police in their camp. And when they watch it was stranger people coming towards them, right? And they had to defend themselves.
Yeah.
I
think that was up in the hills of Cora, right?
No, that was the hills of Cora. That was in Freeport. Not Freeport, Faizabad.
Okay.
Faizabad. So there's a official launch of the book on the 23rd of September in Faizabad. There's a panel discussion at Lloyd Best Institute of the West Indies on the 20th of August, and next week on the 23rd at the Claw and Alice Yard, Wendell and Warren will be interviewing Jai Kernahan on the book.
Well, it's some interesting stuff.
But
where
can people find your product?
All right, so we have a shop in Belmont, 24 Whittick Road, and we just opened a shop right next to my good friend Mealing on Carlos Street, just next to him, in the gingerbread house right there. Number 8 Carlos Street.
Right. That's close up to Tragweed Road there, right?
No, close to Rice Road.
To Rice Road. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm picturing the wrong place. I think I'm picturing where Wendell was, right?
Yeah.
No, that's far up. Yeah.
Right.
Cool,
Okay.
Yeah, so we exist there. We also sell in the Caribbean. Other than in Moustique, we sell in the Wrong Hill in Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you have an online presence?
A clumsy one, yes. a clumsy one, yes. The Claw.com, and we have the Claw official on Instagram. Yeah.
Because we have a lot of the diaspora watching on and listening.
Right.
So,
they could go through the clumsy process and say, send an email or a text, or say that they see this garment either on Instagram, and the website doesn't have a full. Websites are very difficult to maintain, especially if you're selling product as fashion. I think companies like Farfetch, they don't even exist anymore. That because is a continuous. The technology changing all the time. Zara can just watch it, and give me what clothes you wear. You just give some information. They kind of scan your body, and you could take a garment and they could take a picture of you and do an avatar, and you have an image. That kind of investment we don't have, right? So it's a clumsy website, but our website still exists, thecloth.com.
And that's the full word, the THE, right?
THECLOTH.
Right. Because the same group that Richard talked about would put DE.
Oh, right, okay. Right. Well, it could be my junior secness are saying when I say the cloth, it sounds like DE.
Anyway, Robert, thank you so much. We just about wrap it up. Anything else you want to add before we have about a minute and a half again?
Yeah, thanks for this. I really want to plug the book, just because it's a novel, right? A fictional version of what happened. So that's that. And look out for the 40th anniversary. And I ask people to come out and walk for emancipation. Just walk. I see it as a memorial. I see it as a commemoration, and I see it as a way for us to come together. And people who don't think that they should be there should come.
Yeah.
Especially this year. My group, Vulgar Fraction, is going to walk, and there's some other communities that are communities are organizing to walk in the procession as a memorial, right? Because the history of this place is severe and it continues. Also, there are very good things about it, but we have to find ways to, especially this time, to walk collectively together and see what happens in your body when you do that procession.
Yeah, well said. All right, thank you so much, Robert.
Thank you so much, Robert Young. Interesting conversation, and people know where to find you.
Yes,
Carlos Street and thecloth.com.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, take care, man. Have a good day. All right, of course, that was Robert Young celebrating 40 years in the industry of designing and so on as The Cloth.
Yeah, the THE people, The Cloth. I mean, a lot of the names that Robert mentioned, they are people that I know, you know, from growing up and being in the creative arena. I mean, Cyprian Thomas, who he mentioned was from Arena and was a designer. He lives in the UK now. Cyprian Thomas was like my best friend at one period in time. I mean, he's still a good friend, but I mean, of course, you know, he doesn't live here anymore. And I remember Cyprian Thomas was a designer. He used to always, when he used to go to Atlantis had a Wednesday night, club night, where they used to encourage that you could wear all kinds of fashions / even costumes. And every Wednesday night, I was outfitted in some crazy outfit that he designed to make a statement that we were going to Atlantis and pack up in a car. Of course, in those days in Trinidad, you could pack cars with 8 or 9 and 10 people and, and get away with it. So there was 8 or 9 of us, a packed car, and some of them were actually models, girls, Karen and a whole host of them. And we would be going to Atlantis, and Atlantis used to be so packed on a Wednesday night. You used to have to wait outside sometimes for people to leave.
Yeah.
So you went in. And I remember
was West Mall, right?
Yeah, West Mall. And I And I remember there was and I remember too with Cyprian Thomas and his fashion, and style, toting clothes down Frederick Street on my back, walking with Cyprian, going into stores with him selling his clothes. Did all of that.
Good days, good days. I remember those Atlantis days too, because Charlie's Roots used to appear down there, I think, and the sequence there at one time, and the place used to be dead. My brother used to encourage me to come now. The place used to be, and then all of a sudden, that was the most popular spot in Trinidad and Tobago at one time?
Yeah, at one time, yeah.
Oh, those were the days. And
strangely enough, because we were all young, young adults, and you didn't drink much. It was more a night of dancing.
Yeah.
We were just dancing, and they used to have group dances in the sense that there's a dancing style. And so it was fun. It was a fun time.
And safe days. Those were also the days, Richard, you could have sit down in the back of a pickup as a group and go anywhere.
Yeah.
You used to actually sit down in the tray of a pickup to go.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Ah, Lord. Nice days. Anyway. Folks, we're going for the news. Peter, are you there?
Yep, right here.
All right. Peter, take us away. Give us the news, and when we come back, we'll open the lines.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is News Now on Net Radio and Guile TV. I am Derek McMillan. Thank you for joining us. Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar says the PNM should present its evidence in court instead of claiming political persecution over the investigation into the funding of Balazir House. Responding to criticism from PNM Chairman Marvin Gonzalez, the Prime Minister said the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service and the judiciary are independent institutions, and the government does not direct investigations or court proceedings. She said if the PNM maintains its headquarters was built through lawful fundraising and donations, it should provide the supporting financial records to the court, which will determine the facts. Her comments come after the High Court granted a preliminary unexplained wealth order requiring the PNM and its trustees to explain the funding behind the multi-million-dollar construction of Balazir House. Former Prime Minister Stuart Young is accusing the UNC-led government of politically targeting the PNM over the investigation into the funding of Balazir House. Young says any allegations of wrongdoing should be dealt with through due process and the rule of law, while accusing the government of political persecution. Meanwhile, PNM Treasurer Robert LaHunt has rejected claims that the party's headquarters cost $118 million, calling the figure exaggerated. He says he has not seen the documents being used by the state in its investigation. Economist Professor Roger Hossain says the government's proposed AI data center could benefit Trinidad and Tobago's economy, but cautions that the project is still in its early stages. Speaking on CNC3's The Morning Brew, Hussein said the facility could generate much-needed foreign exchange and create jobs if it develops into an export-oriented business. He described the government's recently signed memorandums of understanding, including the AI data center project, as steps in the right direction, but stressed there is still a long way to go before the projects become operational. The AI proposal has also drawn questions over its energy and water demands, environmental impact, and expected economic returns. Government says those issues will be addressed as the project advances. Rural Development and Local Government Minister Khadija Amin says no public funds are being used to finance her son's trip to Japan, following questions raised on social media. Amin said she is in Japan on an official visit at the invitation of the Japanese government, which is covering all of her travel expenses. She said her son Jeremiah is traveling with her, but all of his expenses, including airfare, accommodation, and meals, are being paid from her personal funds. Amin also stressed that her son does not attend official engagements and that photos shared online were taken after her official duties had ended. The San Juan Business Association is renewing its call for a temporary fire station and emergency ambulance service, saying 2 recent incidents have highlighted the need for faster emergency response. The association says the recent medical emergency involving former Finance Minister Karen Nunes Teixeira and an armed robbery at a nearby medical center exposed gaps in emergency services and public safety. It is proposing a temporary fire station with ambulance services to cover San Juan and St. Joseph until a permanent facility is built. The association is also calling for increased police patrols, warning that continued violent crime could threaten businesses, healthcare providers, and essential services operating in the district. Finally, U.S. President Donald Trump says the United States is reinstating a naval blockade of Iranian ports and will impose a 20% charge on cargo passing through the Strait of Hormuz. Trump says the move will prevent Iranian ships and customers from using the key oil route while allowing other countries continued access. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araqi responded that Iran would remain the guardian of the strait. The announcement comes as the U.S. and Iran continue exchanging strikes, with Washington saying it launched another round of attacks on Iranian targets. The Strait of Hormuz is a major global energy route through which a significant portion of the world's oil and gas supplies pass. And that is Net Radio News at this time.
That was news now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio. Net Radio.
Welcome to Inside the Net on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio. Our daily insights as we count down the journey to FIFA World Cup 2026. Here is today's insight.
Every 4 years, the FIFA World Cup gives the world a new beginning. The history books are closed, the records remain. But once the first whistle blows, none of it guarantees success. Every tournament begins with the same question: who will rise, who will fall, and which nation will write the next unforgettable chapter in football history? Months of preparation, years of qualification, thousands of hours on the training ground. Everything now leads to one destination: the FIFA World Cup. For the players, this is more than another competition. It is the highest honor in international football. A chance to represent family, community, country, and millions of supporters who have waited years for this moment. Some players arrive carrying the expectations of an entire nation. Others arrive with little global attention. Yet history has shown that the World Cup has a remarkable ability to create new heroes. Unknown names become household names, young players become global superstars, veterans cement their legacy, and entire nations unite behind one common dream. Every pass matters, every tackle matters, every save, every goal. Every decision could become part of football history. Soon, stadiums will roar, national anthems will echo across the world, supporters will proudly wear their colors, and billions of people will pause to witness football's greatest celebration. Because no matter where you come from, or which nation you support, the FIFA World Cup has a unique power to unite people through one shared passion. The journey to glory is about to begin. Only one team will lift the famous trophy, but every nation will believe that this could be its year. This has been Inside the Net, Road to FIFA World Cup 2026 Insights. Join.
You've been listening to Inside the Net as we count down the journey to FIFA World Cup 2026 on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Calling all you Net Radio listeners and fans. It's time to pack your cooler, gather your crews. Join us on Net Radio. Net Radio Color Week Cooler Crew in red, white, and black. On board the luxurious Island Royalty, Saturday, 15th of August. Boarding at 7 p.m. from Hardcuts Shagaramas. We sail at 8 p.m. sharp. Enjoy great music all night long from your favorite net DJs: Sir Charles, CJ, Mr. Flavor, Doc International, RJ, and Fluffman.
Tell you you's a big dancer. Come show
Early bird tickets are just $200 after $250 Get your tickets now at Crosby in St. James, Rumba, St. James, Bobby's Bar in Crep, Bats International in Arima, K Square Fashions at C3 Center, West Mall and Eastgate Small, and all net DJs. No glass bottles allowed. Bring your cooler, bring your cruise, and let's celebrate together. Net Radio, Halloween, Cooler Cruise. Saturday, August the 15th, aboard the Island Royalty. For information, call 638-2609 or 497-7173. Halloween, on the scene.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
Are you a business owner? Well, take advantage of NETT Radio and Kyle Caribbean TV Christmas in July advertising special. Throughout the month of July, enjoy 33% off all advertising packages. Whether you are micro, small, medium, or large business, now is the perfect time to put your product and service in front of the people who matter. Reach your audience through radio, television, and social media, all at 33% off. Don't miss this limited Christmas in July offer. Call us today at 281-1315 or 299-5156 and let NETT Radio and Kyle Caribbean TV help you grow your business. But hurry, this special offer ends July 31st. It's Christmas in July on NETT Radio and Kyle Caribbean TV.
End times is here. Are you prepared? Check us on New Era TT Radio or NETT Radio with Brother Raka and Brother Yatazakawa on Mondays from 7 to 8 p.m. End times is here. Stay tuned.
What do we all want for Trinidad and Tobago? Safer communities, greater opportunities, and a better future. Join Denise Deming every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on NETT Radio for Common Ground TNT. Each week, respected guests tackle the issues affecting our nation, from crime and education to healthcare, the economy, and good governance. Common Ground TNT, finding solutions through conversation. Tuesdays at 11 a.m. on NETT Radio, NETT Radio.
Okay, we are back from our 8 o'clock news. I just wanted to, am I there? Are you there, Peter? Are you there, Richard?
Hi, I'm here. Yes.
Right, okay. I just wanted to advertise a little Friends Foundation presents brunch extravaganza. It's called Comedy for a Cause, Hillary's Journey, and that's one of our ardent fans on the breakfast show, Hillary. It's a comedy show with featuring Larry Joseph and Dolores, Alan the Entertainer, and Handsome Sonson. It's coming up on Sunday, August 2nd. So it's a fundraiser for Hillary. It's coming up on Sunday, August 2nd, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the St. Francois Girls College in Belmont. The contribution is just $175. And of course, the proceeds go directly to support Hillary's journey, making every ticket purchase a meaningful contribution to a vital cause. There'll be drinks and refreshments on sale. So if you want tickets, you can call 798-3448, 763-7608, 769-5163, that's Hillary's number, and 708-1107. So this is someone who is an ardent follower of this show, who is having a charity, a fundraising venture on Sunday, August 2nd at St. Francois Girls. Go out and support him, please, people. We'll get some more details on this as and when the days come along, because it's happening on Sunday, August 2nd. That's just about 2 weeks from now. All right? Tickets are only $175. All right, to support Hillary's journey. All right.
That sounds nice. A nice little fundraiser.
Yeah. All right. So a lot of comments, of course, during that chat with Robert Young concerning NUFF and all the other attendant things. So we could open up the lines, Peter, and take some calls as we lead up to the 9 o'clock hour, if we go that far. All right, so our lines are open, people. 281-1315 and 299-5156. All right, of course, we have discussed the issue of the death threats to the minister, the issue of the death threats to the commissioner and his daughters, the issue of the special treatment for the Hadids, allegedly special treatment for the Hadids. Well, all of these things are allegations, right? For the Hadids at the Golden Grove prison, where they get in to watch World Cup, and Mr. and Mrs. Hadid allegedly getting to see one another. Nice prison life. Trinidad and Tobago, you're too sweet. We discussed the issue of the data AI centers, AI data centers, and what it will mean for electricity and water. You name it. It's all happening in sweet, sweet Trinidad and Tobago. And then the issue of Balize House, of course. Right? And they want to seize it and paint it yellow and call it the UNC House. But if Balize House built on alleged funds that they can't account for, why would our next political party want to take it over? Well, they explain our logic for me now. Take some calls there, Peter. We have any comment through?
No, the lines are quiet today.
Lines are quiet today. I think people think we're gone, but we still here, people. We're going all the way up until... You got one?
I said the people like they're playing shy.
Yeah, so we taking calls, folks, right? Richard, of course, has done his disappearing act that he normally does around this time. Sir Charles has some personal matters to attend to. So it's just me and Peter here, right? So you all can call in and interact with us now on any matter. Debbie Mitchell came in late this morning, 7:55. And of course, as I said, a lot of discussion on the other issues that making the wrongs on social media.
We do have a call.
Yeah. Yes, good morning. Hello. Caller, are you there?
Yes.
You can go ahead. Is that Lincoln?
You hear me?
Yeah, we hearing you now.
Right. Gentlemen, I want people to understand this, right? And for those who believe, these are the last days we live in. No sprint on the power of the air.
I don't know what happened there, but like a call coming through on your call. Robert?
I'll call back.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. We have a next call, Peter? Hello, good morning. I think people trying to call through Messenger. All right. So we're taking your calls, 281-1315. Of course, we are dealing with quite a number of issues this morning. Hello? Yes, caller, hello? Hey, I'm to them this morning. You having some technical difficulties there, Peter?
I don't think it's on our end. Caller, good morning.
Let's check the Charles, have we technical difficulties?
No, we hearing you, Robert. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that, in light of everything that's happening.
You're listening to a device. It's too close to you, that's why.
I listen on my phone. My phone.
But we hear an echo in the back.
And in the back, I don't know.
Go ahead.
Look at things in a holistic point of view, right? Regardless of what, these are the last days we live in for those who believe. And we know the Bible tells us Satan, the devil, come to kill, steal, and destroy. And this is just the smoke, the fire is yet to come. We have to open our eyes, we have to go down in prayer and, pray for our country, right? Because there's a lot of evil, a lot of, things going on that it will just seem as though things were being said and being done. But, when there's yourself, Richard, and Sir Charles, you all know, you all have that experience. It's not an easy time we're living in. These are perilous times, right? And we need to pray for this nation. We need to pray for this nation. These things not happening just so. You understand? And for all who's listening, I hope that they do their part, right? Where are the religious leaders and them that is in this country when things happen, when the former regime was in power, they used to call on them to do X, Y, and Z. Where are they now? Are they sleeping? Or they migrate or what? Where are they? We need to get up and smell the coffee. We need to pray urgently for this country, Wendell and such as. Because nothing will happen soon if we don't do that. That's for those who believe, That's all I am saying. I told the gentleman have a great day.
All right, take care. Well, a lot of people have gone quiet, not just the religious leaders, a lot of the trade unionists, a lot of the people who were very vocal on social media and so on, they've gone quiet. I guess they're fed up. I guess people just waiting now. But somebody is circulating. I don't know if you all have seen or heard of this cabinet, proposed cabinet note that has been circulating for the hosting of the military parade and the Route March for Independence Day, that the minister has been given leave to withdraw the note. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means no Independence Day celebration or what. I honestly can't interpret it. So if somebody could help me with that and help us with that, is it that Independence Day will not be happening this year? Because it's in a month and a half time, right? Is it that it's not happening? I can't say that I can interpret that note as no Independence Day celebration. I don't know what it means. But I'm seeing it. People are sending it to me. Right. But we're still taking your calls, 281-1315, 299-5156. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, morning.
Morning. Wendell and Peter. Wendell is Zina here.
Yes, Zina, I'm hearing you. We hear you.
You hearing me? Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, I have to say welcome back to you because doing you the first time you go away and you're hearing your business. I say, well, like Wendell changing himself. He ain't calling us from away, he ain't joining the chat. I said, well, he must be on a honeymoon. I come to that conclusion. And I say, you're building up that, you take that honeymoon just in time so that you wouldn't get to open your blanket when Argentina win. So don't try that on us, All right. Anyhow, I want to say, this country is so, it have us like in a tailspin. Your head not Diddy Wendell.
Yeah.
With the amount of foolishness I hearing, like you don't know, you don't even know which topic to talk on. What is happening in Trinidad and Tobago? I starting to feel just like you, like I could go in some other peaceful country and live because there are plenty countries paying you to come to live there. And you don't have to work. They're paying you.
Yeah, it is frustrating here.
But I don't know what really going on in this country. It is too. So I don't know. I'm really, really, really very sad about what is happening. You understand? And especially with what I heard about Ballingsley House and all that. Look, Dr. Williams must be rolling up in his grave. What is really going on in this country? Why these people don't settle down and govern this country and stop this what is taking place here? It's just that people just disgruntled. Why we hearing all these things, you know? They have to try to let people like them. But I'm fed up. Anyhow, let me leave the line for somebody else to call.
All right, thanks, Zina.
Thank
Of
you,
course,
thank
today
you.
is the first semi-final in the football match. Spain will play France today. That's coming up at 3 p.m. today, right? Spain is playing France. All right, as I say, I've reached the stage in this football where whatever happen, except I don't want Argentina to win. All right? So between France, England, and Spain, please ensure that Argentina doesn't win. That's all.
We have another call on the line.
Yeah. Hello, morning.
Good morning, Wendell. Morning.
Morning.
I listened to some of the comments by some people, and I truly just have to start to laugh. You do your damn, you don't do your still damn. When religious leaders call, or religious leaders give people advice, they just take it. No, they don't take it. After you make your comment, they just call you and condemn you. Why do you want to call into the radio station to give people advice to be condemned after you give them an advice? So you just leave people to their own. You leave the people to their own, and you keep quiet, and the guys go. You drink your water and you mind your business, because they don't seem to understand that we as religious leaders could tell them what we see spiritually. And when we tell them about generational curse and all the other different things, they condemn us. They don't believe. They believe. But until our people get something drastic happen to them, you understand? It's only then we will get serious about filling country and developing country. Right now, they're into all kind of foolishness. This one want to kill this one get drug money to build building, this one spend money in Japan is not that. You see, all that crap doesn't help nobody in the country. What we need is the politicians to have fear for God and to really sit down together, not PNM, UNC, sit down as politicians and look at a country that is facing some serious problems in the near future. Because nobody is studying what's happening with Iran and the war. Nobody is taking into consideration the bigger shortage of food. Nobody taking into consideration that we are planting enough to feed ourselves. Nobody is taking these things into consideration. And anytime a chip come in, we're hungry. Nobody is taking these things into consideration. And they continue with their foolishness, with all these theories and all these foolishness that they're going on with. And at the end of the day, who is going to suffer? Poor people, women and children. God bless. I hope nobody can come in, call you right after and condemn what I just said.
All right, thanks, Bishop. Yeah, I actually don't know what to say these days. It's tiring. The country is tiring. That's all I could tell you. You understand? And as I say, the more I am away from this place, the better it is for me. I could only study myself these days. Sorry to be so, but I could only study myself these days. I'm fed up with studying other people now. And I warn Richard and to Charles, I don't know how much more this radio I could do, you know, because I don't know how much more I could put on a smile or a pleasant disposition and come here in the morning and pretend that everything is all right. You know what I mean? Of course, I love interacting with Richard and Sir Charles, but I had to study myself. I'm sorry. It feels, I don't look forward to it the way I used to. Honestly, I don't. So if that was the intention of this government, of certain people, it has worked on me. I can tell you that. It's me first now. Sorry to say. It's not worth it.
We have another call on.
Yeah. Hello, good morning.
Morning, Wanda. Good morning, CD.
Morning.
Hear this now. So, but Wanda, you're not praying enough. Pray and calm yourself. Because you can't let a government.
So who tell you I'm not calm? Or who tell you I'm not praying?
You have to have your peace of mind, you know. Don't let the government take the pace for you. So
but hold on. All right. When you finish, I'll respond.
I saw where, and you see, because of all these set of concocted stories, I had to say that way because it happens so often that just now we might stop believing it. I saw where the Carnival Foreign Affairs Minister will be meeting with the Israel Foreign Affairs Minister. I don't know, Trinidad and Tobago and Israel are close, and so close. A country like Israel, whose prime minister has been indicted for genocide. How come? So instead of we doing good things, we going backwards. So I just want to know if that is true, because why we meeting with Israel? And I wonder why would people who in Trinidad, the Muslims especially, with all the genocide that's happening against the Palestinians and so on, why they're not saying anything? I just find a lot of people who had a lot of mouth previously, tongue cut. And another thing, when then I saw where the local government minister, I saw she in Japan. So what Japan could offer us? I think she going for business for us or for investment for Trinidad. What can they offer us? Because you have been there many times, you know?
No, I've been there once.
Could offer us.
I've been to Japan once. It was about 2 months ago. You hear me? Yes. All right. Yeah, apparently there's Carlisle is saying there's a technical problem with phone calls. I don't know what's going on.
Hello?
When you hang up, I'll respond to you, Miss Davidi.
Okay, I'm not hearing. Right. Okay, no problem.
All right. Yeah, take care. I don't know what the local government minister is doing in Japan, so I can't answer that. I've been to Japan once, and I'm telling you, Japan is way, way advanced. You understand? So if she could learn something from in Japan and come back and implement it here, all power to her. You understand? The other issue is that people, you're assuming I'm not praying enough, and I can't manage my stress. Managing my stress is staying away from sometimes from this nonsense. And it's not just about politics. You understand? It's not just about politics that just has me deflated sometimes, okay? Yeah, so let's take our next call now.
Hello.
Oh, good morning.
Yeah, Mr. Princess Tong, I know you're saying you're having technical problem, but we're hearing you now.
Yeah, I wanted to comment on the political environment, the atmosphere. Now that the atmosphere in Trinidad and Tobago is being reflected in many democracies across the world. And from my perspective, it is being fueled by a rise in right-wing thinking. If you look at the United States, you would see Mr. Trump has taken the Republican Party to the far right. If you look at Mr. Netanyahu in Israel, you will see the same thing. If you look at France, you would see Marine Le Pen is predicted to win the next French general election, which is coming soon. If you look at Great Britain, you would see the rise of the Reform Party, which is to the right of the Conservatives. Now, one of the features of right-wing politics, as is the case in Trinidad and Tobago, is that the type of rhetoric that they bring to the agenda is very divisive and bordering on encouraging, I would use the word violence. They wouldn't say they're calling out for violence directly, but a lot of the rhetoric is along those lines. And therefore the atmosphere tends to become very tense. And that is what is fueling a lot of the discourse in the country. So that you would hear Mr. Parrott being threatened, you would hear the police commissioner and his, now that might be true. But the genesis of it is in how the right wing tends to articulate the issues now. You had a member of, or somebody speaking from the perspective of NUFF earlier on. And there was a time when...
No, he wasn't there. That's not what that interview was about. That interview is not about NUFF, okay?
No,
he just raised that as a because of his parentage.
But he mentioned NUFF. And the issue of NUFF and organizations like them, they emerge at a period when the left had a point to make about oppression and neocolonialism and those sorts of things. And they followed that agenda similar to what Castro did, because that was the alternative to changing the narrative at the time, or the approach to governance at the time. But the right wing is a different thing. They operate in a democratic environment, but they choose to rile up people, and therefore it gives them a basis for the type of interventions that they would make. Things like the state of emergency and those sorts of things. So we need to get accustomed to that, because I don't see the right wing just going back into the shell. They are emboldened, and if you look across the world, you would see that, whether it's in El Salvador or many countries. Right now, whereas Latin America was inclined to go to the left, or just left of center, now a lot of countries in Latin America have swung to the right. So you find that is a trend. How long it would last is questionable, but get accustomed to the attitude and the type of rhetoric that would be more divisive, and hence cause problems as we're experiencing. Right now in Britain, for instance, we had a former parliamentarian and former junior minister in the Conservative Party who swung to the right and is a supporter of Nigel Farage. She was murdered a couple days ago, and even though it appeared to be a random murder, now it's being investigated as a sort of terrorist activity, because there's a response to that kind of right-wing thinking. So it is what it is, and we just have to put up with it until it subsides, I suppose. Have a good day, gentlemen.
Yeah, all right. Thank you. Take care. All right. We have any other calls there?
Not at
as we try to wrap up this morning's program. Hello, good morning.
We don't have any calls at the moment.
All right, but I think we could wrap up this morning. All right, folks, have an absolutely wonderful day. Remember to let go and let God. Sir Charles and Richard will, of course, join us again in the morning. And where we will hopefully have Gary Griffith weighing in on all these death threats, because he certainly would have been the recipient of many of those. All right? So let's take our leave now, Peter. All right?
All right.
Take care. I can't talk by myself. And there is very little to read on this chat. that's worth reading. So folks, have an absolutely wonderful day. As I said, remember to let go and let God. This has been The Breakfast Show.
Get up, it's the time to start the day. The Breakfast Show is here, we bring in the soca way.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The Breakfast Show got the vibes.